Mr. Shelton, you didn't get a chance to read your letter to the council, and you've discussed the letter during this interview. So could you please read the letter to our viewers out there?
I would love to. I would love to, yes. This is to the Honorable Mayor Bernadette Baca Gonzalez and the Trinidad City Council. A few years ago, my wife and I saw a dream come true to purchase mountain property in the beautiful state of Colorado that would eventually become a vacation home for the two of us and our 3 married daughters and their families, plus a host of relatives, friends, and church groups. Of all the areas that we visited in Colorado through the 40-plus years of traveling and vacationing, we chose the City of Champions. Yes, Trinidad, Colorado. The natural God-created beauty, the mild climate year-round, the numerous outdoor activities, the ease of access from our Texas home, the historical significance, and the list goes on and on and on. Eventually, we even had hopes of this becoming a permanent residence, a place where we could give of ourselves and our resources to say thank you for this community, for the area that has provided for us through these years. Our most recent trip to Trinidad was enhanced by a new restaurant, The Bricks, on Main Street. Wow! It was actually great food, good service, and a booming business, more importantly, created by 2 young men that were raised in Trinidad, moved away, but have returned to take a vacant building and turn it back into a viable restaurant. While eating at Bricks, I saw 3 men dressed in full camouflage, and hoping they weren't terrorists, I worked my way over, but they were eating their evening meal. They were here for the start of elk season, which they're from California. These men are eating out every evening. They're buying fuel, they're buying food for camp, hunting licenses, etc. Now that's money in the community. For the kids, we noticed that the skating rink had its grand opening. Now that means revenue coming into the downtown part of the community that was not there just a few days before. I salute you local entrepreneurs. These are jobs that can be sustained and businesses that can grow. Although we're not permanent residences, we are working with a great group of folks here to help bring a new development to Trinidad. Exit 14 off of I-25 will be the jumping off ramp that will funnel tremendous flow of traffic into the streets of downtown. And this new development, instead of having people cruise over our streets on the interstate at 75 miles an hour. The development, known as La Puerta de Colorado, has in its works a world-class automotive transportation collection hosting car shows, cruises on the Highway of Legends, RV shows, art events, gun shows, and on display will be, and also the home, the 1948 Lincoln Continental that was owned by Babe Ruth, plus a collection of rare and unique classic and muscle cars all the way from the 1940s to the 1970s. This development will have hotels, restaurants, swimming pools, sporting goods store, outlets of all sorts, movie theaters, and a host of retail stores. Again, the list goes on and on of all the possibilities. This is how this city regains the title, the City of Champions. We're talking jobs, sustainable jobs, and all with the family in mind. Now here's the challenge that Trinidad faces. Does the silent majority in this community wake up and realize the disaster that's facing them because of an agenda that is being shoved through by a well-funded, vocal minority to push through the issues involving marijuana? This being done in the name of jobs, tax revenue, and medicine? It's a farce. It's a farce. How much medical pot can be sold in a community of 9,000 people to affect the tax base? Assuming there are some positive medical attributes, why couldn't you handle the needs of this drug in the same way other drugs are handled? Through doctors, prescriptions, and pharmacies. What's the need for the storefront? Are we willing as a community to sacrifice the image we're trying to rebuild if we get this reputation as a pot community? When Japan chose to attack the naval base at Pearl Harbor on December the 7th, 1941, Japanese Admiral Yamamoto was best remembered for saying at the end of the day something we should never forget. I fear we have awakened a sleeping giant. I hope and pray that this is true in this case. Wake up, Trinidad. Please wake up. This community cannot revive itself as the city of champions by creating a reputation surrounding itself with pot. In an effort to force this down the throats of the community, if it succeeds, it will without question affect our decision to make this our home and our willingness to invest in a town that we've come to love and appreciate. And I signed this with our greatest concern, Lonnie and Marilyn Shelton. And then I want to add one other thing at the end. It says, freedom and privileges that we know can be lost when good people remain silent and do nothing. Thank you for the opportunity to share this.